Gentlemen, welcome to week 9 for your power rankings video. Sorry we're a little late this week. Had some things pop up, so I had to do it during Thursday night football. So hopefully you're watching the game and the power rankings side by side while they're happening. We've got a special guest on this week coming off a massive win. We have the GM of the Tennessee Colonels, Chase Holmes. Chase, you want to say hi to the folks?
Yeah, hi everybody. Hi GFA League. Thanks for having me on, Murph.
I appreciate you coming on. Well, I guess we can get right to it. We've already got a comment. Talk about Texas 5-year plan. Oh no. Okay. Well, you know, the Beecher Creatures have been hot. They're 3-1 in their last 4.
Last 4?
3-1 in their last 4.
Okay. So last week.
But last week,
oh,
the Beecher Creatures did take a loss. We'll do a little recap of what happened last week. The Dallas Dragons absolutely came to play in Bond County last week, taking down the Coonhounds. The Clark County Crusaders remain a juggernaut, beating Bear Boobs. The St. Louis Looters come up short in the Fraud Bowl, some were calling it. And the Cali Pigs take care of business in Huntsville. And as we mentioned, the Beecher Creatures fall flat in Tennessee, losing 88-95. It was a very, very tough week for some, especially up top here with the Coonhounds losing, scoring, a respectable score as well as Bear Boobs, but just running into absolute juggernauts. And so with that, the playoffs, that was as it stood in week 8. If the season ended today, we've got the Clark County Crusaders still up top, Bond County Coonhounds, Looters, Bear Boobs, the Cali Pigs in the playoffs, and the Dallas Dragons. And before we get into the power rankings, we're going to go ahead and give out the Urban Meyer Manager of the Week and the Madden Manager of the Week. So with that being said, I'm actually going to turn it over to Chase and give those awards out.
Awesome. Thanks, Murph. So this one's a big one. The Urban Meyer Coach of the Week. The Tennessee Colonels have had it for the last 3 weeks. That's actually 4 on the season. But it will not be them this week. It'll be the Beecher Creatures and Austin Rexroad getting the Urban Meyer Coach of the Week award. This was well overdue. He fell against the Colonels this week, and there was a lot of roster mishaps on his side. I remember just seeing his bench kind of fill with points, so a little disappointing. But yeah, he'll take it home this week because you really just can't lose to the Colonels. You just can't.
That's fair.
And then we got the not the Steve Madden, it is the John Madden Award. And we've got for that is Dragon. Dragon went off. I know ETM popped off. Gus Edwards popped off. Sam Howell even popped off. He's been kind of rolling lately, so good for Dragon. He gets it this week.
So with that being said, let's go ahead and roll right into the power rankings, starting at number 10. Even though they got a win last week, you can't not give it to the Tennessee Colonels. 200 points behind in points for, sitting at 2-6, the bottom of the league. Chase, you haven't been on the power rankings yet this year, and so I'll give you a chance to just talk a little bit about your team, kind of the locker room vibe, and what we should expect of the Colonels to come.
Yeah, I mean, the locker room's very high right now, coming off a big win that was needed. I feel like I've gotten very unlucky this year just with random stuff that's happened. I've gotten a lot of like zeros from people, but I think I'm starting to finally figure out a roster that works, and hopefully a roster that's much more competitive while also trading away a lot of people, building up next year. Let's be honest, the season's kind of over for me, so I'm hoping to play spoiler later in the year. But I'm very, very excited on who I have contracts on and how many first rounders I have next year. So this is just really a kind of a tanking squad, but don't sleep on us like Rex did.
And we do have a comment actually. It's not luck, you're just booty cheeks.
All right. So Ryan Taylor is as GM of the Cali Pigs. The Colonels also beat him. I'd like that to be stated. So
That's your 2 wins right there.
My 2 wins are the only 2 people that have talked to me about anything. So
it's easy to keep track. It's easy to keep track of who you beat when you only have 2.
But number 10, it's got to happen. It's sad, but I did trade away kind of like everyone that was good. So
now that might be too early, and you're not for sure guaranteed the first pick in the draft due to the lottery. But
I have 2 of ones that I'm pretty sure are going to give me the first round.
Okay, so with that being said, and usually the bottom of the barrel does not get enough limelight. So who do you think you'll end up taking first overall?
So I'm not. It's gonna depend on who people get drafted, like 2 team wise, if that makes sense. Because I mean, you can see like really good players like Bryce Young got drafted to Carolina, and I didn't take him because I knew Carolina was going to be like an absolute garbage fest, and I took CJ because I kind of liked that team better, and it worked out for me. So I'll look. I really want Brock Bowers or Marvin Harrison Jr. so far. Those are the 2 that I don't need quarterbacks, so I'd probably pass on like a Caleb Williams, even though I just don't think he's that great. But I don't know. Those are the 2 guys I'm eyeing right now. I'm hoping a running back kind of sticks out as well.
Okay. Fair enough. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to number 9. We have a little controversial here because he got a win last week, but I still don't believe in him, and it's the Shadow Troop. Probably just not a good team. Ramondre Stevenson has not performed this year like we have thought. He plays a ton of Minnesota guys who now do not have you don't have Kirk Cousins to throw to KJ Osborne or Jordan Addison. I mean, this team's stock just got lower. I would be inclined to rank them a little higher if that didn't happen, but it did. So that's why the Shadow Trooper's still at 9. Oh, we do have a little love from the comments section. The Colonels are live. This is dope. My hero.
I'm talking about. Thank you, Parker. I will say something nice about Parker since he said something nice about me. He drafted not a terrible team. On the other hand, I will have to say his trades have been quite awful.
They have been bad. And he also commented, he said, never has nothing nice to say.
I don't think you're a fraud, Parker. I think you're exactly who we thought you were.
Okay, so to be fair, Parker, I think in different circumstances, this team could be good.
Yeah.
I just called out that I saw where this team was going. I was correct. And that's just where we're at.
Hey, Jordan Addison, though, big bright spot for him. He looks great.
Huge bright spot. Hopefully they get somebody to throw him the ball.
Ryan Tannehill?
I mean, so let's see here. We've got number 8, the Beecher Creatures. This team has been hot. Okay, he, like I said, 3-1 in his last 4. Took a big step back last week. Parker said Will Levis is better than Tom Brady. This is the type of stuff that would cause you to build a fraudulent team with just that psychotic mindset.
4 tutties his first game.
The Beecher Creatures had no touchdown luck last week. They can be better, but here's the issue with the Beecher Creatures, and it is their schedule and absolutely needing wins and needing them now. Starting off 0-4, yes, it was a lot of bad luck, but where this team is at now, it is in win now mode, or it's shit or get off the pot is kind of where Rex is at right now. I mean, it's got to happen for him. If it happens this week, that's fantastic. Next week's going to be a new discussion, but right now, team is trending down fast, but that's just because of where he was at early in the year. Now, let's move on to number 7. A team that you and I, Chase, agree that just should be better than what it is.
Yeah.
And I think that's exactly how I feel about this team. I've been high on the Hitmen all year. Mostert, Achane, Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf. I mean, you've got all these big names, and it's just sitting at 3-5 in the same boat as the Beecher Creatures, absolutely needing a win this week, and he's up against one of the best teams in the league. Chase, your thoughts on your brother and the situation that he's in?
Yeah, so Michael, I think, is insanely smart at fantasy. He's really good at waiver wires and stuff like that, like picking up Achane and Mostert and just general fantasy stuff. But his biggest problem, I think, is his tight end. All season, it has sucked. It has been so horrendous that he's getting outscored every single time on that section against whoever he's playing. And so I told him this kind of like trade season, he needs to go after Mark Andrews that I had. I was like, look, I'll trade you him, but I need some good in return. He didn't want to do it. And I think he's starting to see that problem persist because now Freiermuth's out. Kyle Pitts gets like 2 touches a game, even though he's a stud. He just needs to fill that hole really badly.
Tight end has just been such a hit for very few in the league and a miss for most.
Yeah, I mean, I have Cole Kmet, who has more points than both his tight ends combined. He could have made a move and he didn't. So that's what
I can't necessarily blame him for, having Pitts rostered over Kmet and Kmet being available. And it's unlucky. Also play calling has not been favored for him. He's not out there for 80% of the snaps. He's a glorified receiver that's just not getting the ball essentially. And it's hurt him so far. So let's move on to number 6. I believe he's moved down from last week because he took a loss, and weird things are looming in St. Louis. The Raiders, man, they're in trouble, and that means that Torbeck's in trouble. I think that the Looters here at 6 makes sense, just because there's a lot of uncertainty going on. There's but at any point he could put up about that 115, 120 mark, and that's why I mean you still have to respect him, but I feel like now after with Jacobs and Adams, there's not holes necessarily, but there's just big question marks of what is going to come from here on out from those guys.
I was going to say, I think when was it Kyron Williams?
Mm-hmm.
Him being out has killed his team. I think as long as he's out, I just don't see them. I mean, he could get a win against. He needs to get a win against me this week, or else that's a blown opportunity. But I picked up Williams' replacement on waivers, and I think that hole, because he was popping off for 30 at the beginning of the year and really giving him that push past 120 and stuff. But now he doesn't have that, which is the problem.
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not a team where you see it on the schedule and then you're like, oh, this is a win this week. I feel very confident in.
No.
It's probably going to come down to the Monday night game. You're playing them this week, and you said you're expecting a win. So I'll let you speak on the Looters for just a hot sec.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I think with the Raiders GM and their coach gone, I don't know Devontae and Jacobs are going to do a single thing. I mean, that organization is in shambles. Garoppolo's in shambles. My gosh, worst contract ever. So those guys I just don't see as factors. And if you take them out of the projections and give them half of what they have, which is kind of what they've been playing up to, we're projected the same. And I don't know. I just don't see the upside with some of his guys. And Mahomes just hasn't looked good this year either. For whatever reason, the offense in KC's down. I mean, it's mostly his receivers, but still.
Well, I think Mahomes. The big thing with the change in Mahomes this year is that there's not as much of the deep ball. Teams are playing with two high safeties most of the time, and he's having to take the check down a little bit more.
What Josh Allen's been having to do too. But I think the difference is that Josh Allen has good receivers, and Mahomes just has Kelsey. That's it. Guy Ford's not good.
I don't know, but I think the Looters are. I mean, they're a playoff team.
Yes,
and I think they will be there in the end in terms of being in the playoffs. That whole division is scary. So I think that the Looters. We could be sitting here next week talking about the Looters, being like, "Man, what the hell were we thinking? They're still there." Or we could be like, "Oh, yep, we were kind of right. Team's trending down." I'm so on the fence with where this team is at, and I think there's a couple of teams in the Beecher Creatures, the Looters, and the Hitmen. It's like, man, this week means like this week, next week, and the week after that mean a lot more for this, and that's because it's so razor thin. We're in the league right now. I mean, one playoff spot, the last playoff spot currently is decided by 10 points right now at the moment,
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's and that's how we wanted the league to be, and it's turned out to be that way. Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to number 5. Moving way up the list from, I believe, 8 last week, we've got the Cali Pigs. Now, the reason that the Cali Pigs are up this week so far, I believe, is because I've been putting a lot of respect on the Cali Pigs name from the beginning of the year. We've said from the beginning that, oh man, this team, if it gets injured, they're going to be in some trouble. Well, boy, does this guy have a load of injuries. Not just with any old player. Nick Chubb, James Conner, 2 big point getters for him, and he's been winning. Not just winning by a couple. He's been scoring 120 points week in and week out, and the Cali Pigs have been able to manage. If they get James Conner back, the team gets even more scary. Derrick Henry's doing his job right now.
AJ Brown.
And I'm not going to sleep on Ryan here because, I mean, I'm playing them this week, and so I got to give him his respect. But I genuinely do think that this team is better than advertised. He's going to be in a lot of trouble in the years to come with contract situations and cap space, things like that. But as this team sits right now, in terms of this year, this team's going to be okay. Now, let's move on to number 4, the Bond County Coonhounds. Took a loss last week, unfortunately. Scored a respectable 124 points. Did lose our quarterback. So that is a situation that we are actively addressing. And right now we have to ride with Jordan Love as it sits because Brock Purdy is on a bye. However, we've seen good performances week in and week out from almost every single player. Alvin Kamara has been outstanding. And it seems like with this team, at least, when somebody might not quite meet their projections, somebody else has doubled theirs and picked up the slack. Chase, since I'm not going to sit here and just toot my own horn, so I'll go ahead and let you speak on the
Yeah, no, man, honestly, so coming into the season, I thought my team was really good. I was stupid, so I guess I don't really know much, but I thought the only thing that your team was missing was running back, because I looked at DeAndre Swift in the beginning of the year, and I was like, this guy has nothing. And he's turned out to be great. And Kamara has absolutely popped off for you. You still have the two best wide receivers, even though one's out. I mean, even with Mike Evans, it's so solid. I think you just overall have a very solid team. The floor is very high for your team, which is really great for like being steady. And I think we see you roll over easy teams.
We do take care of business. Now we've got a comment here from somebody outside the league. Josh says, would you do this trade in a 20-team PPR? Jaron Hall and Jacoby for DK. My roster is Lamar, JT, Aaron Jones, Tyreek, Christian Kirk, Kittle, and Jacoby. Other guy has Purdy on bye and is 1-6, so needs this win.
Yeah, Jacoby Myers is not good anymore.
I mean,
with the Raiders right now, I'd do it.
Yeah, I would probably get away from that Raiders offense.
Yeah.
As quickly as possible. I think it is a fire sale there, so I think that's pretty safe.
And DK is solid. He's gonna give you like 9 points every game.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to number 3. Top 3 is pretty easy. Bear Boobs. We've got it number 3. Only reason he's not at number 2 is because, well, I mean, you can't really take away from what the top 2 have done. Sam, let's see here. He ran into a little bit of a buzzsaw last week. Scored still 130 points. I mean, you do that and you expect to win, but not when you're playing the best team in the league. And he's sitting at 4-4, which puts him second in the division. And he does have more points scored, obviously, but with Dragon sitting at 6-2. It's going to be tough to topple there in the West. So that leads me to number 2, the Dallas Dragons. This team has been on an absolute scorcher. I mean, just finding ways to win against teams. And I don't like his team. On paper, it's like the exact opposite of the Hitmen. I like the Hitmen's roster, and it doesn't make sense to me why he's 3-5. Same goes for the Dragons. How is this team 6-2? But I wouldn't call him a fraud because he's consistently done it. He had the outlier where he scored about 50 or whatever it was, but he's been right at or well above 100 points pretty much every other week. It doesn't make sense. I can't make it right in my dumb brain that why he's good, but he's 6-2. He's the top of the West, and he's got a couple games to spare if he drops a few. And I've said it from the beginning of this year. All you have to do is get into the playoffs and you have a legitimate chance. It doesn't matter if you're the best team in the league or the worst team in the league. Usually it's not the number 1 seed that ends up winning it all. So, yeah, I mean, the Dallas Dragons sitting here at number 2. Chase, your thoughts on the Dragons?
Yeah, we talked about it a little. I don't like his team on paper either. I don't understand how they're so good. But I will say, kudos to Dragon for not giving up on his team. Like, he's stuck by his guys. He didn't make a bunch of stupid trades. Like Gus Edwards, I would have shipped him off 1,000 times. I think he even offered him to me, and I was like, I don't want Gus Edwards. Dude popped off yesterday, right? I mean, his whole lineup is guys that I just don't really get how he's getting that many points. But I mean, even like Sam Howell, smart pickup, things are just working good for him, which is, I mean, good to see for him. And again, like just sticking to his guys, I think was huge.
I am worried about him this week. In his matchup, I think that obviously with ETN out hurts a lot. And then Sam Howell going up against the Patriots, who have a very good defense, who will probably keep him pretty much under wraps for most of the game. I don't think that you'll see another 30-point game against him. Got it. Now that I'm saying it, I fucking hope not.
Yeah.
But I really genuinely don't think that that's going to happen. But I think that here's the thing is that they can afford a loss here and still be atop the West.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that obviously Dragon's already done for himself.
Yeah.
And then we got number 1. You can't not give it to him. I mean, the Clark County Crusaders. He's on a very bad bye week as well this week. But team is still good. He's got some heavy hitters that can carry him. And that just, I mean, when you got Lamar at any point could pop off. But then when you also have Tyreek Hill, that might be all you need. And I think with the recent injury to Kirk Cousins severely hurting the Shadow Troop, this could be a very low-scoring win for the Crusaders. I think both teams go under their projections, and I'm taking the Crusaders this week.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I think this is a big week just to look at Dylan's team, because I think the only thing against him is he has the stacked roster. He's got the best roster in the whole entire league, but he has very minimal depth, or at least that's what we've been saying. So it's a good week to kind of test that out.
Yeah, and at least as the standings go, still 6-2. He's got a couple games in hand, so he can afford a loss here. But going into it, you never want to count your eggs before the chickens, or whatever the hell the saying is. But I think he'll be okay. He'll be in the playoffs, and that's all that matters. Before we go, I want to go through each matchup here and then pick who we think is going to win, and give a little prediction for the matchup. So first, we got the Cali Pigs and the Coonhounds. What do you think is going to happen?
I've got Coonhounds absolutely rolling. I think that I'm going to go under 100 for Cali.
Okay. I like my team as well. I'll stand by my team for sure. Quarterback, I just need not a dud from Jordan Love. I need 14 points. If he can get me 14, I think that the rest of the team can make up for the slack. I don't need anything crazy.
Stephon Diggs goes for, I think, 30.
I love that. All right, Clark County Crusaders and Shadow Troop. We kind of already gave. I have the Crusaders winning this week on a bad bye week, and I think both teams are going to score low. I think this matchup both teams will be under 100 points. I think the Crusaders take this one probably like, man, I want to say like 92 to like 78 or something like that. Like, it's going to be ugly.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think Dylan wins. I just, without Kirk Cousins starting like 5 Vikings, I just cannot see him scoring over 80.
All right, we've got Bear Boobs and the Hitmen. Relatively close matchup here. Mike's got Pickens going right now with only 0.7 to his name so far in the third.
I told him to play him.
Oh, no. So what's your what's your predictions here for the Boobs Hitman matchup here?
Just because Mike's been really nice to me lately, I'm gonna go Hitman, even though I don't think that at all. So fade me. I'm going Hitman 110 to 108.
I'm gonna take the Boobs. I think it's gonna be 115.
Oh my God, Darnell Washington just caught a ball. I'm not dropping him. Sorry.
I think it's gonna be 115 to about 95 is where I think this one ends up. Okay, Looters, Colonels. Mr. GM, what do you got?
I got Colonels. It's Colonels all day. We're smoking some Kentucky Fried Chicken over here. The Colonels are going to wipe the Looters. I'm talking 130, the biggest Colonel bomb of the year. It's a certified Colonel bomb, to about 55 for the Looters.
Certified Colonel bomb against the Looters. You know what?
You know you want to. You know you want to.
I think this could be a big 2 a week.
Yeah, I could. Come on.
And I think
The Raiders, come on.
the Raiders are bad. The Raiders are bad. Give me the Colonels, but it's not gonna be the Colonels winning it. It's gonna be the Looters losing it.
A win's a win, dude.
I think but it's gonna be like a real ugly one where like you might have a 0 in there somewhere, but like somebody
I have
else
a 0 every week. So
yeah. So I think this one ends up like I think you might meet your projection 88 to like I mean it could be like 81 or something like that. Like it's gonna have to be ugly. All right, final matchup here. We got the Dragons and the Creatures. Chase, what do you think?
Even with ETN out, I'm rolling Dragon. I just think the Creatures are frauds, even though they're still 3-5, so it's not really can't really call them.
I don't know if you could call that fraudulent, especially when he started 0-4.
I can't put the fraud claim on anybody. I suck. So I'm just saying I don't think Creatures are very good. I don't think Bijan's very good. I don't think a lot of his team is. Give me Dragons. They're rolling. They're hot. I'm thinking 120 to 105.
Okay. I am taking the Creatures this week, and that's mainly because I think he's going to be missing ETN here.
Yeah.
I like the Creatures not because of what I think his team will put up. It's more that I think you're not going to have that big explosion on the other side. I think Sam Howell is held in check this week. I think Gus Edwards, Seattle's defense is pretty good. I don't like Saquon Barkley against the Raiders. And yeah, he's going to have to get it somewhere else. So that's why I think barring a Travis Kelce just like crazy week, I think the Beat Your Creatures take this one. And I'm going to call it a 115 to 109 Creatures.
Respectable.
We do have one question from Andrew Chisholm. Are we answering questions here or not? We are. We're about to wrap up. So if you can go ahead and give us the question, we can go ahead and answer it for you.
Donate, subscribe, drop a
gift. If you want, please like and subscribe.
Hit the bell button.
All those things.
My advice is not free though. So let's see
what we got here for you.
Yeah, he's gonna cook something up. Seconds.
You said he's got 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll wait. We'll give it a sec.
There's been like 4 plays while we've been talking that have been absolutely insane, including Najee Harris dropping the easiest catchable ball I've ever seen.
Yeah, I've got it over here in the other tab, but I'm also like going back and forth between the fantasy tab and the game.
I need Tennessee to win so bad. Because so far, every time Tennessee's won, I've won.
Hey.
No joke. Makes my Sundays a little better.
All right, Andrew did have so he says, Should I trade Godwin and McBride for Kincaid and Aaron Jones? Just heard people say Kincaid isn't higher than McBride.
Nah, McBride's going down once Ertz is back, so I'd do it while he's up. I say yes.
You say go ahead and make the trade.
Yeah, Jones is better than Godwin.
Especially with I think once Jones is fully healthy too, I think they're going to have to lean on him more anyways, and I think we've seen that with Love taking a little bit more pressure off of him. I think they're absolutely going to have to pound the ball, and I think Kincaid you want a piece of that Buffalo offense anywhere you can get it.
This is an easy sell high move because McBride is never putting that number up again. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah, and Godwin is second fiddle to Evans too. He said they said that about Knox. I'm assuming that he's saying wanting a piece of the offense in Buffalo, but I think Kincaid.
He's more the receiver.
These rookie tight ends. This goes for pretty much any rookie, not, that's not a running back, like not Bijan. Like if you're coming in behind somebody, it takes 7, 8, 9 weeks for them to like fully get into that first team and become that sort of trusted target. I think this is where Knox now takes a step back, and you're going to see if you look at the snap percentage. Let's just pull it up. Might as well while we're here. Who has Kincaid? Is it let's see here. Oh, it's because I'm in free agents. Oh, you said no. You guys were saying McBride won't start when Ertz comes back.
Dude, Pickens didn't get the second foot.
Oh
my gosh.
No, I mean, Ertz is a veteran though, so I don't know. I think the value is there for Aaron Jones alone, and Kincaid is just gravy, honestly, in that trade. So, with that, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. So, we'll see you boys in week 10.